Hello everyone, I'm Scott and you're watching Your Experience Guide, the home of unofficial Blackpool Pleasure Beach content. And today I'm going to be taking a look at some of the things that may be going on in the future at the Pleasure Beach. Now of course on this channel we've spoken about the Grand Prix replacement a lot. That's not really going to be the focus of this video. It's going to be more about possible gyro swings, possible new accommodation, why the planting of trees is very important for the future of the park, potentially, and other stuff that's publicly accessible to view and talk about. So let's get started. Now you may remember from last year there was a podcast published with Amanda Thompson OBE, the managing director of Blackpool Pleasure Beach Resort, and in that podcast Amanda spoke about new accommodation coming to the Pleasure Beach, or potentially coming to the Pleasure Beach. That included a conversion of the Ocean Boulevard buildings to 18 holiday apartments. Also, there was mention of a third hotel going nearby to the casino building. Now, of course, if you watched or listened to that podcast, this is not new news. We all heard it, those of us that listened or watched. However, there has been some recent developments and some photos have appeared online of some planning documents that show where those 60 trees may be planted, and also shows some of the plans for the new holiday apartments. There's nothing about the third hotel, about the casino building yet. However, there has been developments about where these trees could be going in the Pleasure Beach or around the Pleasure Beach, and also the new holiday apartments. On those planning documents, there is a couple of things that I think are worth mentioning and may be relevant to new rides possibly coming to Pleasure Beach in the coming years. Of course, people at Pleasure Beach might be watching at this point thinking, oh God, what's he cooking up now? What rumours he come up with? But I'm not starting any new rumours here. I'm basically just predicting things from what I have seen on these planning documents. But before I get into that, I do have something to ask. If you do enjoy Pleasure Beach Resort content on this channel and you would like to see a lot of it in 2025, please hit the like button. It's a little thumbs up below. Please subscribe, please comment, tell us what you want to see from Pleasure Beach this year, and we'll try and do it. So the first significant thing to talk about, and it's something that always comes up in Pleasure Beach rumour conversation, and that is the Bolodrome building, the arcade building that used to be by the Wild Mouse when the Wild Mouse was there. It's opposite the hub. It was closed for most of 2024. The toilets by it were closed for the back end of the 2024 season. No pun intended there. And also the Planet Rock building that used to house different shows, Q&A sessions, and all sorts of different things over the years has been closed for a while now. Interestingly, on a planning document, it does show that there is going to be several trees placed along where that building is. However, it doesn't show on the plans that that building is actually going to be removed. So it's difficult to say at this point if the trees are going to go behind the building on what is actually a car park, or if the building is going to come down, the trees are going to then line where the building used to be, leaving a big open space for redevelopment. And that brings me on to the subject of the Intamin gyro swing, something that has been rumoured heavily since last summer. I'm sure we all saw the documents detailing a potential loan for an Intamin gyro swing at Pleasure Beach. There is nothing to suggest at the minute that it couldn't possibly go where the Bolodrome building currently is. Of course, I'm speculating here. I have not seen anything official to suggest this is or isn't happening. I've only seen the proposed planting of trees in this area. In my opinion, Pleasure Beach are not going to plant trees on a car park where nobody's going to see them, behind an arcade building that's closed, behind toilets that are closed, and behind an old show building that's closed. It just doesn't really make sense. Ultimately, whatever order they do it in, whether the building comes down first or the trees get planted first, I feel like whatever they're doing in that area is being done for a good reason and will lead and point to the future direction of the Pleasure Beach, whether that be a new ride or a new development in that space. However, overall, that area of the park has a lot of potential. Of course, if the Bolodrome building and the Planet Rock building do go, it opens up a huge space. New coaster, new flat ride, potentially a gyro swing, new dark ride maybe, new park entrance area. It opens up so many different possibilities for Pleasure Beach in that space. And then looking a little bit further on from where the arcade building is, of course, is the River Caves Of course, the River Caves was closed in 2024. It's unknown if it will be back open for 2025, and the future of that attraction is currently unknown. I would love to see it back in action for 2025, but at the same time, if it's going to be closed for a few years and reimagined once this Bolodrome area is all sorted, then that's probably not a bad thing either. It would be nice to see it back in action, but if it has to be closed until it's reimagined, then so be it. I just want to see it back open at some point in the future, whether that be 2025 or 2027. If it comes back, I'll be happy. And just to confirm here, I just plucked 2027 randomly out of the sky there. I don't know anything for sure about the River Caves at this point. I'd just like to see it back open in some form at some point in the future. Moving on from North Park and the Bolodrome area specifically, there is quite a lot of other areas that are mentioned in the planning documents for the planting of trees by Icon, by Steeplechase, by Skyforce, by Grand National, by Launchpad, not Ice Blast. I had to think about that for a minute. There's various different documents showing where these trees are going to be going around the park, and it's going to make the park look nicer from the inside, which is definitely a good thing. However, something that's definitely worth noting, on the documents that I've seen, there is no suggestion of planting of trees where the Grand Prix was. Now, the reason I mention that is because I remember when the Grand Prix was confirmed not to be coming back, and then we heard about the planting of trees in the park, and people were concerned that they were basically going to plant 60 trees where the Grand Prix was. But at no point when you're going through the list is Grand Prix mentioned for planting of trees. That can only be a good thing in terms of that area being redeveloped for a new attraction, which of course is the rumour. There's many rumours about what's going on in that space. We've discussed it many a time on this channel. We'll put a link in the top of the screen, whichever side it is, cannot remember, to our recent podcast where we've discussed what they might do and what we hope they might do in that space. So I'm not going to go over that again today. So I think that pretty much covers it for today's speculation. What I will say is, I think the future of the Pleasure Beach will be exciting to watch over the next few years. I know that we're all eagerly anticipating some new rides and some different things happening around the park, but I think we also have to be a little bit patient and just let things happen. Pleasure Beach is a unique park in the sense that, unlike places like Alton Towers, Fort Park, Chessington, they are family owned and they're also built on sand. They have to do a lot of ground testing, a lot of research, a lot of planning on simply doing the groundwork before they can even think about putting a new gyro swing, a new tower ride, a new dart ride, a new coaster, a new park entrance, all of these different things, a new hotel. All of these things take so much planning because of the groundwork alone. It takes a lot of work, not also because they can't disrupt the rest of the park while they're doing it, because again, everything is built on top of an old beach. So they have to be mindful of that whenever they're constructing anything. A lot of parks can just build a coaster, start to finish, over a closed season. Whereas as we saw with Icon, things started to move in 2015 and eventually it opened in May 2018. There is a lot of disruption in the groundwork that goes on to other surrounding things that are going on at the Pleasure Beach. So we do have to be patient, but I do think that there's going to be a lot of exciting things coming to the Pleasure Beach over the next couple of years, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all pans out. That's all for now. If you do enjoy our Pleasure Beach content and have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below. It's a little thumbs up. Please subscribe, please comment. Many thanks for watching. See you next time.